We're gonna come and try running this again. Let's see how it goes this time.
Hello and welcome. Look, let's be honest. It's easy to feel like we're living through. It's enough to make you want to crawl into bed, pull the covers over your head, and just stay there. But before you do that, we here at have done the hard work of sifting through the absolute mountain of news that was 2024. Welcome to our rundown of the most significant events of 2024. Yes, we know most significant is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. Was it the year lab-grown meat finally became palatable? Or was it the time that guy on TikTok taught his ferret to play the ukulele? Look, we had limited time and even more limited intern manpower, so we had to make some judgment calls. From groundbreaking discoveries to major political shifts to some truly bizarre things involving ferrets, we've got it all covered. So buckle up because it's 2024 in a nutshell, and spoiler alert, it's a doozy. So first off, let's talk elections. As we all know, 2024 was a big year for that. I'm talking, of course, about the US presidential election. Now, we're not going to rehash every single detail because honestly, who has the time? Certainly not you. You've got things to do. Ferrets to wrangle, ukuleles to learn. Anyway, as you may recall, the race was tight. Nail-bitingly, sweat-inducingly. Did I just eat an entire bag of chips in one sitting? Kind of tight. And while we're not saying the fate of the free world hung in the balance, we're also not saying that. Look, the point is, it was a big deal. And then, of course, there were the inevitable claims of voter fraud, rigged voting machines, and the ever-popular, my opponent is a lizard person controlled by Big Broccoli. Look, I'm not saying it happened. I'm just saying that if Big Broccoli is going to control a world leader, they could at least pick one who's not allergic to florets. Just a thought. Now let's move on to something a little more uplifting, shall we? Like, say, the complete and utter collapse of the laws of physics as we know them? Just kidding. Mostly. But in all seriousness, 2024 did see some pretty wild scientific discoveries. First up, we have fusion power. Yes, you heard that right. The holy grail of energy production, the technology that promises clean, limitless power, finally made some significant strides. Now, before you get too excited and start throwing out your energy bills, we're still a ways off from commercially viable fusion power, but hey, a guy can dream, right? And then there's the whole cloning dinosaurs thing. Look, I don't know how it happened. I don't know why it happened. All I know is that it happened. And frankly, I'm not sure I want to live in a world where a T-Rex could be lurking around the corner waiting to steal my picnic basket. International relations. That delightful dance of diplomacy, cooperation, and the occasional thinly veiled threat of mutually assured destruction. Fun for the whole family. And 2024 certainly didn't disappoint in the geopolitical turmoil department. We had escalating tensions in insert region here, a border dispute that nearly spiraled out of control in insert another region here, and the ever-present threat of cyber warfare looming over everything like a particularly aggressive Roomba. It's enough to make you wonder if anyone in charge actually took that Diplomacy 101 course, or if they just spent the whole time doodling in the margins and throwing spitballs at the back of the French ambassador's head. But hey, at least we didn't have a full-blown global conflict, right? Right? Okay, moving on. Now, for the lighter side of things, let's talk culture. Specifically, let's talk about that movie where the guy dressed as a giant banana fought a sentient cheeseburger. Why? Because apparently that's what we're doing now. But hey, it wasn't all bad. We also saw the rise of insert popular musical artist band here. The groundbreaking exhibition of insert famous artist here is previously undiscovered collection of finger paintings and the literary masterpiece that was 101 Ways to Cook a Lab-Grown Chicken Nugget. So yeah, 2024 was a mixed bag, culturally speaking, kind of like a bag of trail mix, really. You've got your good stuff, your bad stuff, and then that one weird thing that you're not quite sure what it is, but you eat it anyway because, hey, it's there. And finally, we come to the environment. Because what would a year in review be without a healthy dose of existential dread? I know, you're probably thinking, but John, you just cheered me up with the prospect of a giant banana fighting a cheeseburger. Why would you do this to me? Well, I'm doing it because it's important. Because despite our best efforts to ignore it, the environment is kind of a big deal. And 2024 was, well, let's just say it wasn't great. We had record-breaking heat waves, devastating floods, and enough wildfires to make Smokey the Bear consider taking up smoking himself. But hey, it wasn't all doom and gloom. We also saw some promising advancements in renewable energy, a growing global movement for climate action, and the heartwarming story of that one turtle who bravely fought a plastic straw and won. So there's hope for us yet, right? Right? So there you have it, folks. 2024, a year that was equal parts exhilarating, terrifying, and just plain weird. A year that reminded us that, for better or worse, we're all in this together. Unless, of course, that whole lizard people thing turns out to be true, in which case, every man for himself. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more updates and in-depth analyses of the year's biggest stories. And remember, if you see a T-Rex, don't run. It only encourages them. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications.
Well, I like the last bit of asking to subscribe and press the bell button. But honestly speaking, it was not a good summary, or at least it's not what I wanted. It's not cohesive, it was kind of unrelated. And A seemed to got really defensive, claiming that it didn't have the resource power to summarize and present it. And I don't know. I mean, uh, it seemed to have its own set of priorities than humans. That's all I can say. It's nowhere near what I wanted.